In 2006, Bong Joon Ho released The Host, a film that follows a mutated fish that causes havoc in a local nearby city. This creature was created by a doctor's assistant spilling a lot of toxic chemicals down a drain. But the soul of the film centers around the Park family, Grandad Hie-Bong and his 3 children, eldest Grandad, middle Nam-Joo and youngest Nam-Joo, as they have to work together to find the daughter of Grandad, called Hyun-Seo. They thought she died as she was dragged down the sea by this creature, but to their amazement, she was alive in an underground sewer. And now the 3 siblings have to work together to save Hyun-Seo. You're probably wondering what this video will be about. How can I decipher a message from this film when it is about a mutated fish that eats humans? Surely the movie is too ridiculous to be looked at with a magnifying glass. But there are many angles to look at with this movie. There is a story about toxic waste being dumped into our seas, a story about an unknown virus, and a story about a family working together. These are all valid avenues, but the story and theme that I want to talk about, the one that takes this film from a monster movie to something more, is this: empathy. How Bong Joon Ho uses that emotion to create a story that I shouldn't even have thought twice about. Because in reality, The Host isn't Bong Joon Ho's best movie, and I can confidently say that so far it is probably his worst. But Bong Joon Ho is a brilliant filmmaker. He is a man that is clearly a master of his craft, and even though The Host wasn't anywhere near his usual standard, what he did with the story by infusing the theme of empathy into the family is amazing. And because of that, I have thought about this movie more than I should. But why is empathy such a powerful theme to use in this movie? Empathy is something we all are aware of, and hopefully we all have empathy with other people and their circumstances. And they even have a name for this expression in the movie. They call it siaori. Siaori's original meaning is about borrowing food when you cannot afford it, but I think that extends itself to empathy as well. How, for example, we might look at a child stealing food as a crime, but instead of viewing that action on face value, we should look at it from the perspective of that child, to empathize with that child's surroundings and ask ourselves why they are stealing instead of just punishing them. It is all about understanding the whys instead of just judging straight away. This is a powerful sentiment because it is very easy not to listen to someone, especially when they go against your own beliefs, and instead just judge them rather than understanding them. An example of this, which is very current in today's time, is when 2 people who support opposite political parties do not listen to one another, but instead judge each other solely based on their political affiliation. But when you take a step back and understand why they support the opposite party, then you can get a deeper understanding on how they think and why they believe a certain viewpoint. Empathizing with the opposition doesn't sound appealing, but if no one listens, then how do we grow to be better? Siaori is that concept to me, to listen and understand and not to be judgmental, because who does that really help? In the movie, the concept is used for the eldest sibling Grandad. He has no respect from his 2 younger siblings, they just see him as a buffoon.
애들 보기엔 강두애가 그렇게 한심 봤다냐?
네.
The middle sibling, Nam-Joo, is a medal-winning archer, and the youngest, Nam-Joo, has just graduated university, so when they compare themselves to Grandad, all they see is their pathetic eldest brother working at a convict shack with their dad. They have no respect for his lifestyle. But the grandfather explains to them that they should be more understanding to Park because they were very young when Park had to go through certain things that forced him into his lifestyle.
니들도 알다시피 강두애가 어릴 때 내가 워낙 정신을 못 차리고 밖으로만 놔두던 시절이라 가뜩이나 엄마도 없이 크던 널 불쌍하게 시리.
The grandfather is telling them to not judge someone on the surface level, but to see beyond that and look at them for their past and understand how they became who they have become. This type of empathy is about understanding someone's character before you question their motives. The second type of empathy is represented by Park's daughter Hyun-Seo. She selflessly helps a child to escape with her, and I think it was deliberate that Bong Joon Ho only makes her save one person from the countless other bodies in the sewers, because even if it's just one person you empathise with, that can still have a major impact in a positive way. I say this all the time in my videos. Life is unfair, and there will be times when you are angry or upset and see life in a negative view, making it hard for you to empathise with someone, and that is fine. So even if you make that effort to understand, listen and empathise with one person, that is also fine, because even though it doesn't seem a lot to you, it can mean a lot to the person you are interacting with, from listening to their story to being there when they are down. And that is what Hyun-Seo's empathy represents to me. She didn't have to save that kid, but she did. And just like father and daughter, Gang-do then took care of the child because that child had no home, and that looked down upon shack now turned into a warm home for this child. For me, the host had no right to be this emotionally driven. It had no right for it to make me look this deep into it, and it had no right to be a movie that I will always think about. But that is the beauty in art. I recently got this comment, and it made me think, why is it bad that every word has a meaning? Because when every word does have meaning, it becomes more than what it might have been. I have no doubt that Bong Joon Ho didn't mean for this movie to be looked at like how I just did. But when I can find meaning in the meaningless, then I can appreciate everything more. And that is just more fun. So, what does the host mean to you?